Hey guys, Comic Boom here to review Action Comics 1005. We finally have an appearance by The Question. The Question. And it looks like it's a man. It's not going to be Renee Montoya, which is interesting. I was kind of hoping The Question would be Renee Montoya, because I liked Renee Montoya and I kind of liked her as The Question in the pre-Flashpoint universe. But it looks like The Question is making an appearance here for the first time in Rebirth continuity, and it looks like a man. Well, I suppose it could be a woman underneath. You never know the way nowadays, where but that looks fairly male to me, but it's hard to say. But that's good. It's good to see The Question back, because rumor has it that Brian Michael Bendis and Ryan Sook have a secret project that's coming up for DC, and we could speculate as to what that is, but it might be The Question. Maybe they're working on a Question series, but I'm really looking forward to that. But in the meantime now, here we have the Red Cloud. The Red Cloud. What is the Red Cloud is revealed in this issue. Very interesting reveal as to who the Red Cloud actually is. We do find out. And I gotta say, I was shocked. I was very, very surprised. And perhaps, on the one hand, maybe I shouldn't be surprised, because it is one of the new characters. I won't spoil it in this review, but it is one of the newer characters that Brian Bendis introduced. But it never really fit. I didn't really see it fitting in terms of the appearances. So I'm still not even sure if it fits, so I'm trying to fit it into the past, in the first, well, I guess 5 to 10 issues of Bendis, the 5 issues of his Action Comics and his 5 issues of Superman that have come out so far. But it's interesting. It's interesting, and it's got my attention. It's still not clear exactly what type of effect the Red Cloud has, because the Red Cloud does sort of infect Superman, because the Red Cloud is just that, a cloud, and it does Superman does inhale, I guess, the cloud, but then also blows the Red Cloud out of his body using his super breath. And what effect exactly the Red Cloud had on Superman, it's not really clear. It just seemed to affect him, and it slowed him down a little bit, but it didn't really it didn't have any mind control powers. It didn't really seem to be able to control Superman's behavior. It just seemed like Superman found it more annoying than anything else. And all in all, it's interesting. Now, one of the dialogue here got a little bit better. Bendis has gradually improved on his dialogue from past issues. The art here, right away it starts off, the art's pretty good, and we've got, it once again shows the laptop with the sticky notes on it. This is the Invisible Mafia Part 5. The idea of Red Cloud being the godfather of the mafia in Metropolis is a great idea. The whole idea of people, of criminals in Metropolis watching what they say because Superman has super hearing, and that they have secret meetings, and that it's very important that they govern themselves a certain way, and the way they speak, and the way they organize, and the way they commit their crimes, and the way they create crimes as a distraction to get Superman out of the way so that they can do their underground criminal work is very interesting. I like the idea. I like the thought that Bendis has put into that. That hasn't really been done before. We have the dial, H for Hero dial, or rather a fake one here. That sort of changes hands. We've got the appearance of one particular person is trying to pawn off a fake dial H for Hero to a mafia figure, and that, of course, that person is interrupted, and that deal is interrupted by The Question. So that's quite good. We have a good interaction here between Robinson Goode and Clark Kent. And Robinson Goode, it's kind of funny because you could... apparently, Clark looks like he has an afterglow because of the intimacy he experienced with Lois Lane in issue 1004. As you know, when they got together, and Clark Kent, of course, bought into all the rubbish that Lois Lane was feeding him about why she wasn't around, despite her lies and deception. All it took was a good night of sex, and Clark Kent forgave Lois. In that respect, he might be Superman, but he's just as vulnerable as the rest of us, You women, you want to deceive us, play games, not a problem. Just have sex with us and we'll believe whatever crap you're throwing at us, right? Because that's just how we men are, right? And that's exactly how Superman is. And Clark Kent's got a smile on his face that's a grin a mile long, and Robinson Good can see it. So that was kind of funny. It's kind of consistent. You know, Clark Kent on the phone, he's just smiling. What's he smiling for? Well, you already know. There's probably the best artistically, the best page is with Melanie Moore, pardon me. I think that's her name. Oh, these names. Melody Moore. She's she's a fire department investigator. She meets with Clark Kent and basically tells him that the mayor doesn't want her to investigate the rash of suspicious fires that were taking place in Metropolis. And so that's interesting. Why? Don't really know. More questions are posed in this issue. And one of the things which it's very clear, this is issue 1005, and we're 5 issues in, and we are not even close to getting into any answers in terms of the central mystery here. We finally know who the Red Cloud is. So that's good, but that's not an answer. To be quite blunt, we didn't really need to know who the Red Cloud was. We could go another 10 issues not knowing. That's really not the point. In fact, it might have been even better narratively, if I'm playing script doctor, to leave the revelation of who the Red Cloud was, leave that to a future issue. I'm talking about the plots here and the subplots. Very clearly, this is going to be a 30 to 40 to 50 issue story arc. There's just too many plots that are building and subplots that are building up and up and up here between the question, Clark Kent's investigations, the fire investigations, the agenda of the Red Cloud. There's all kinds of things going on, and that's just being dealt with in Action Comics. None of this is being addressed in Superman. Superman is another set of storylines and narrative completely. So it's interesting. I do find it interesting. I do. I'm just a little frustrated. Like, is this going to be wrapped up in a timely manner? I don't think so. I guess if it's a really good story, it's not going to matter. But that's a little bit of a criticism there. That's fine, I guess. If the long game ends up being a great story, good, fantastic. I guess we'll play it that way. That's me being kind. I will say this. Bendis is a lot better at drawing the longer story arc than Tom King is. I like, because these are questions, there's in-story continuity here. And despite some hiccups, ongoing problems with the dialogue, the story is there and it's interesting. And I really like the fact that the questions introduced here. I can't wait. I hope that's the project that him and Ryan Sook got going. That's what I'm really hoping that secret project is. And he's also got Young Justice coming out with Patrick Gleason. So Bendis has got some things on the go here. I should say that Brian Bendis mentioned in a podcast that he did with John Citrus on John Citrus's Word Balloon. And he said that one of the things Bendis noticed was that Patrick Gleason and Peter Tomasi, Patrick Gleason and Tomasi have a very good rapport together, and he wanted to develop some rapport with maybe one of them as well. And so he mentioned when he approached Patrick Gleason about Young Justice, and apparently Gleason had already had his own ideas about Young Justice, and they decided it would be a good idea to collaborate the ideas, and that's what they've done, and that's what's led to Young Justice. And so we'll see what that looks like. So I like to think that we're going to get the best of both worlds. Hopefully, hopefully the best of Bendis and the best of Patrick Gleason in Super Sons, or not Super Sons, rather Young Justice, when that comes out. So guys, when all said and done here, tell me what you think of Action Comics 1005. I think things are heating up, so to speak. The Red Cloud is descending and it's getting really good. Tell me what you think of the reveal in terms of who the Red Cloud is. I think it's very interesting in terms of where it might be headed. So, until next time, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter. Merry early Christmas. And Comic Boom, out.